just going to show you the effects that you can get with it. What I'm going to do is, if we use we're going to use my favourite one, aren't we? I've got to use my favourite one here, the 3D embossing. So we're going to emboss this one, and taking this one out, even when it comes to taking it out, you can see all the detail that comes through. Look at that, look at all that 3D embossing detail there. Look at that. So once that's run through, then what we can do, putting that through again, when it comes to our 3D embossing, so it's just our cutting plate. This is when I tend to use the clear one, the one that I don't use for cutting. Then we're going to use our plastic shim, and then we're also going to use our magnetic sheet. But what I also like to do as well, just to get that extra bit of deep embossing, I just put my metal shim in place as well, and then that just adds through. So I'm going to bring this one to the top because I don't want your magnetic sheet to go top-wise, and then we're just going to run this one through. And then as this starts to come through, you'll see the effect that we can get. And then if we even just use a bit of gilding wax and take this one out, and then you can see now, if I do the reveal there, and then if I bring this in for you to see, look at all of that. Look at that detail in that one. So the 3D embossing, then you've got your shells that come to the forefront as well as the background. And then what we're going to do is, if we take our gilding wax that we just had here, so I'm not going to actually do the whole lot, but what I am going to do is I'm just going to do that centre bit of the shell, and this will just let you see how you can actually create that detail. There we go. So I'm just going to dab this bit off, and then if I just lightly just go over, so the lighter you are, the lighter it'll look, but the more heavy-handed you go, the more effect, the more that the detail just jumps out. So there is going to be a demo on Monday on Create and Craft with myself doing this sort of effect, but I will be going into a lot of detail, a lot more detail as to doing the gilding wax to show the effects of embossing folder. So if I bring that, I'm actually just going to leave that again just for a sec, and then all that I'm wanting to do is I just want to add just a wee bit more. Again, you can always just add extra shape and definition to your 3D embossing of the shell just by adding just a wee bit more. Now, if I let you see, you can see that there, and then if I bring that in, isn't that just glorious? That word comes to mind. Absolutely glorious. Look at that effect. Even just on the background there of the shells, even the ones that I've not done the gilding wax on. Look at that. Absolutely amazing. So now you know why it's my favourite. I would love to know what you're thinking of the embossing folder. So just shortly, not at the moment, but we will go on and we'll have a look at the iPad, see who's on and who is online and who's chatting, and see what you're thinking, what you're wanting. What I want to do as well, actually, I know it just happens to be the other 3D embossing folder, but you can't obviously quite see from the effect of the packaging what it could look like. So if we run this one through as well, because it's really worthwhile to show you what the 3D embossing folders look like once they are embossed. So if we bring this one in, and I'm just going to open this one, and we can start to emboss this one. And this one comes in like wee panels, so you could always be cutting them out if you wanted. That's something that you could be doing, you know, cutting wee strips. So take my cardstock again, so I'm just using some of our cardstock, so I'm just going to run this one through. And then take my plates, I'm just doing exactly the same, so I'm just doing my metal, my magnetic, and then my plastic. And then we're just going to run this one through. So you will still get so much detail without that metal shim. I just did that, add that in because I just want that extra bit of detail, and that works so well when it comes to our Centura Pearl cardstock. So let's show you this one. So we can see there, and then if I just bring this in for you all to see, look at all that detail on it. Can you see all that? Look at that. And even though I've added that metal shim, there's no cracking or that. That just really makes that embossed, just pop even more, stand out even more. Could be adding wee rivets to the side here, if you're doing this in craft card or any of our brown cintura apparel, really would look effective.